Hey guys, Crystal Helly over here, back with some more FGO, and well, I don't have much to say right now, but let's get right into the next chapter. The blue flames, flames. The blue flame still looks spooky and also kinda cool. Lord of Creation. No battles. Time to read some more, I guess. Are all present and accounted for? Then let's get this briefing underway. Technical advisor? You got it. Okay, let's start with a review of our current situation. First of all, it's been about 20 hours since yesterday's attack. Thanks to all your valiant efforts, we were able to avoid the worst case scenario. But I'm afraid we're still not doing well, all told. I mean, without the paper moon we can't navigate. When Sigurd, whom we believe to be a lost spell servant, broke into the Shadow Border's cockpit yesterday, he made off with our void reality observation device, the paper moon. That's right. Of all the things for him to take. Hey, he didn't exactly steal it from us, did he? You gift wrapped the damn thing for him. Why the hell would you do something like that? Even Sigurd found it weird. You think I was giving you a present, you fool? I'll have you know that was me planning ahead. He didn't look at all like the gentle sort, so I wrapped the paper... Wait. Is he being sarcastic or did he actually do that? Either way, Sigurd does look very indifferent about it, so he could break it on the way walking or something. Anyway, he didn't look at all like the gentle sort, so I wrapped the paper moon carefully to ensure that he wouldn't break or damage it. Wait, you did? Really? That was my reaction. Alright. You can argue all you want later. Between the emergency exits, attempted emergency dive, and Sigurd's attack, the damage to the Shadow Border is extensive. Frankly, it's a miracle that none of us died. Although... Holmes... How's he doing? I'm worried too. I haven't spoken to him since that battle. Is he... It's not good. If he pushes himself even a little, he'll die. He has to stay completely still while he recuperates. He didn't just lose an arm, you know. He also got inscribed with a primordial rune of death. A primordial rune? The lost Norse runes are one of the foundations of magecraft. Mages have partially reproduced them, but they pale in comparison to the original ones from the Age of Gods. Still, that doesn't mean that they're not handy. They can be chanted very quickly, which makes them very useful in a lot of situations. For example, we used a whole bunch of them for dissonant mystic codes, like Gander. At any rate, the primordial runes are powerful stuff. According to Norse myth, Odin made most of the world out of Ymir, with the exception of the runes. No, the runes were a different matter. Odin discovered them after offering up his own life. Their shapes contain the depths of the world itself. I guess you could call them the pathways to the truth Odin discovered. Like when he got wisdom and lost his eye? Or did he reach the root or something? If you inscribe the rune for death, then there's no escaping it no matter what. If you're flesh and blood, that is. Flesh and blood? Like, he's a servant, so... Then, since Holmes is a heroic spirit, does that mean he can be cured? Fofo! You got it. A gold star for you, Mash. I have no idea what you're saying, Foo. If you want to lavish me with praise for my genius in putting together a recovery pod for other bodies on such short notice, you just go right ahead. There, Da Vinci, there. You deserve some thanks too, Ritsunan. I'm sorry you had to try to heal him with your mystic codes so many times. But it was thanks to you that Holmes didn't disappear before I could finish the recovery pod. That's what they're here for. Well, thanks again. I'm sure he'll want to thank you too once he's back on his feet. That said, for the time being, Holmes will essentially be comatose. I know you're anxious, Gordy, but... That's Mr. Gordolf to you, technical advisor. Need I remind you that we are still in a briefing? And on that note, let's get down to brass tacks. Mashkiria Light, Ritsunan. I have decided on a new mission for you. I trust you already know what it is, but I'll explain anyway. We have lost both the Paper Moon and one of our heroic spirits. Well, temporarily, in the later case at least. The situation may be dire, but it's not going to improve by us sitting around twiddling our thumbs. Which means... we gotta explore it. The goal of this mission is to turn things around and keep moving forward. God damn it, Da Vinci. Oh, sorry, I stole your thunder, didn't I? What? I can giggle if I want to. Alright, moving on. This mission has three main objectives: recovering the Paper Moon, cutting down the Tree of Emptiness, and finding a path to the North Sea. I understand why we need to get the Paper Moon back, since we can't continue our journey without it. But why is cutting down the Tree of Emptiness part of this mission too? An excellent question. As you'll recall, Sigurd didn't come here to kill us. He came to steal the Paper Moon. Why would he do that if he belonged to this last belt? Simply put, he wouldn't. Never in a million years. The only ones who will consider the Paper Moon a threat are the Cryptors, especially now that they've lost Russia. In which case, it makes sense to assume that he's one of the Cryptors' servants. Oh, so this last belt Cryptor already knows we're here, which means... they're coming in full force on us? Right. There's no avoiding a fight. And if you're going to have to do that, we might as well take down the Tree of Emptiness while we're at it, yeah? Correct. Once the Cryptors realize the Tree of Emptiness is in danger, we can be certain they will have some sort of response. And when they do, that will be the perfect chance for us to take the Paper Moon back. Maybe I'm being a little overly optimistic here, but I'd say this plan is absolutely foolproof. Fo-fo! Anyway, there's a ton of work to do before we get to that. First order of business, we need to conduct a thorough investigation of this lost belt. And since we have to stay here and repair the border, I'm afraid that will fall to the two of you again. You okay with that? Nothing else to be done. Still, I'm a little worried about leaving the border with Holmes in such critical condition. Yeah, what if you get attacked again? I get where you're coming from, but it seems pretty clear that Sigurd was only after the Paper Moon. Both Gordy and I figure he'll leave us alone now that he got what he came for. I still don't get why he'd want to avoid the reality observation device in the first place. To slow us down, maybe? Wouldn't it have been faster to just kill us all off and be done with it? Oh yeah, no, that's a good point, but there was also Ophelia telling him not to hurt Mash, so I guess it's related to that. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true. Honestly, that seemed to be what he wanted to do, too. But there's not much point in speculating now. Anyway, let's start by going over a few things. We need to make sure we're all on the same page for this Lost Belt, after all. Oof, sailor music. Okay, first things first. The Norse mythology we know from proper human history. Scandinavia used to be home to all sorts of gods, giants, and other mystics, just like the Age of Gods in other areas. But then in 1000 BC, about 300 years ago, Mount Katla erupted, and Ragnarok began. It brought an end to that entire reality, essentially Scandinavia's own Age of Gods. The gods, the giants, even the phantasmals in the region, along with all their myths and legends, were completely wiped out. At least, that's the conventional wisdom in the mage community. Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods. That was the conflict that brought an end to the gods in Norse mythology, right? Oh, and Götterdämmerung basically means the same thing, but it's German, I think. That's right. Loki's mischief essentially begat all sorts of disasters, culminating with Muspel fire giants invading from Muspelheim, the land of flame. Yeah, that was Loki killing Balder, I think. Or getting Balder killed indirectly. In fact, what most believed to have been an enormous eruption from Mount Katla was actually the fire giants' invasion. It's said that during Ragnarok, Odin was eaten by Fenrir, the great wolf of ruin, and that many gods died in a fearsome clash with the giants. And I'm still pissed that extra lasting core wasted Fenrir like that. And yeah, that happened. We didn't see it in the anime, but it was stuck in the drama CDs. And Fenrir was the servant of that blonde, not blonde, that pink-haired girl that Shinji's girlfriend. The ultimate, as I like to call her, the pointless character who died pointlessly and achieved pointless things. Before Sutter, the fiery king of giants and ruler of Muspelheim, laid waste to all the land with his flaming sword. Yep. And once the gods and giants had vanished from Scandinavia, that was when the age of humanity began. That was when most of the mystic was lost and civilization rapidly advanced. Thank you, Fo. Fo. Basically, yep. The idea that the reality texture covering the world disappearing along with Scandinavia's Age of Gods was more of a presumption, courtesy of mages from proper human history. That does differ a bit from regular historical records, though. The oldest known record we have of Mount Katla erupting goes back to AD 1930. Not 1930, 930. There just aren't any records of what happened all the way back in 1000 BC. That tracks if the entire texture was wiped out. Again, conventional wisdom says that we only have bits and pieces left over because of this entire texture disappearing. You really do love your conventional wisdom, don't you, director? What's wrong with that? Many notable authorities support that theory. I'm told that it's all but common knowledge in the Clock Tower's archaeology department, in the Melwastia faction to be precise. There's a bunch of characters in the Clock Tower, but I barely know I don't know many of them. Mostly what the Elmeloy characters. Foe. When you get right down to it, there's still a lot we don't know. In proper human history, we never did get the full picture of Scandinavian's Age of Gods, so all we have are a lot of vague guesses patched together from whatever small remnants we could find. But hey, that's pretty much the case everywhere. However, that is obviously not the case for this version of Scandinavia. Not by a damn sight. I'm guessing that here in Scandinavian Lost Belt, the Age of Gods never ended. Are there gods around too? That would seem to follow. Maybe not. If we are still in the Age of Gods here, then there may well be gods kicking around too. But at this point, we can't really say for sure. One of the big questions we need to answer is, when did this Lost Belt diverge from proper human history? The other is, given the giants we've run into, we can be certain that it's still before the AD era, and that the Age of Gods level mystic still exists, but we don't know yet why that is. So, those are the two big questions, when and why. We should feel a lot better once we have the answers. So we want to know the time period this Lost Belt diverged from proper human history, and why it happened in the first place. Right you are, Mash. At this point, I think it could have diverged around 3,000 years ago, around the time of Ragnarok in proper human history's Scandinavian Age of Gods. But, as to why that happened, your guess is as good as mine. Why does this Lost Belt look like this? What are those flames you saw in the northern mountains? And based on what we've been able to observe from the border, why does it look like there aren't any towns or cities like there were in proper human history? Are there even any other humans here? If so, did they change into something else, like the Aga? We really do have a lot of unanswered questions. That's right. We still know practically nothing. The best we have right now is our estimation that the Age of Gods never ended here. If only a divine being would have the courtesy to show up and tell us what's going on. Stop it, Lost Belt. I don't know. I can't think of many gods that go in for the whole exposition thing. Fo. Hey, at least you've got the adorable and knowledgeable Da Vinci on your side. Let's see, speaking of the situation here. Right, I've still got to tell you about the Scandinavian Tree of Emptiness. But we weren't able to see it. I imagine not, particularly since the border couldn't see it with its sensors either. So we should assume that this Lost Belt's Tree of Emptiness is being concealed somehow. Which is why your mission objectives include finding it. Good luck, we're counting on you. Roger that. Good, that's what I like to hear. It really raises my hopes for your performance. Foe! The music stopped. Let's see, oh right, and one more thing. I really hate to say this, but it's not possible to summon servants outside of battle here. Yeah, it makes sense since last time we had to do the whole kite lightning thing. Oh! There aren't any ley lines nearby? Yeah. The border is running way low on power thanks to all the damage, but the biggest issue is the fact that we couldn't detect any ley lines. I bet it's because of all that magical energy entwined with the ice and snow at a molecular level. I'm afraid it's also going to interfere with our long-range comms. Alternatively, the ice and snow's magical energy could be completely controlling both this Lost Belt's mana and history. So, that would mean, if someone were manipulating the ice and snow via magecraft, then it means they're incredibly powerful. If you want to keep hypothesizing, I'd guess that if someone like that exists, they're also this lost spell's king. Of course, it's possible that this is just what this lost spell is like, but let's at least keep that possibility in mind. Ahem. If I may. In short, our situation is highly precarious. We have no choice but to send a mere two-person team to explore further, despite the fact that we currently have no means of defending ourselves. I hope you can appreciate how difficult of a decision this was to reach. All clear. Ha. Good. Very well then. As the expedition team, you will leave first thing tomorrow morning at 0900. While we're on the subject, let's talk about your current destination too. Though we don't know where Sigurd went after stealing the paper moon, we did detect a couple of life forms approximately 150 kilometers northwest from the border's current location. I'm hoping it's a village, even though there wasn't any there on the 2019 map. Anyway, I think that'd be a good place to start asking around. I'll make sure to prepare some translation talismans before you leave, of course. I wish I could do more to help you too. Under normal circumstances, I'd be right there with you in the border. But this is the best we can do right now. I'm sorry. The shadow border still needs a lot of repair work to get it mobile again, and of course, zero sailing is currently out of the question. Still, at least you won't have to worry about the Ortinax. I spent the last 20 hours going over the whole thing with a fine-tooth comb. You shouldn't have to worry about it acting up after getting hit with a demonic sword anymore. Thank you, Da Vinci. The next time I see him, I'll kick him in the nuts. I mean, what? Yep, you give him the what for. Don't hold back on Siegfried's account. Yes, you're right. Though I don't think we need to bring Siegfried into this. It sucks that we can't count on our comms. I wish we at least had one more fighter we could send with you. Yeah, having another heroic spirit around right now would be real welcome. Especially one who could watch over the border for me. Oh, no you don't. Don't you ever think about wasting your last bit of power on a summoning test. If you've got time to whine about things we haven't got, then get out there and find them. That's the smart way to go about this. Yeah, you got a point. Alright, Mash, Ritsunan. We're going to have to count on the two of you to find some help, and maybe even bolster our fighting forces into the bargain. Maybe there are other heroic spirits from proper human history here, like there were in Russia. Exactly. With any luck, there'll be heroic spirits of the land itself summoned here, like Beowulf and Billy. Alright, let's go over everything one last time. Dun, 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 dun. For this mission, you two have three primary objectives. First, take back the paper moon. Second, cut down the Tree of Emptiness. And third, find a path to the North Sea. Of course, those last two are more for extra credit, but the first one is absolutely crucial. So let's get started with that information gathering and, hopefully, recruiting some fighters. Yashui. Right, Senpai. Foe! Foe! Foe's there for moral support. Very well then. We begin tomorrow morning at 0900. Now, If there are no further questions, this briefing is concluded. Oh boy. No battles again. Some more exposition maybe in the story. Ah, Fluffy Mashu. Now this is cold resistant. It doesn't look like there'll be any blizzard. Looks like today's forecast for the southern Sweden region of this Lost Belt is clear skies. I'm all set, senpai. Glad it's still sunny. Me too. I think this is a good sign. Don't jinx us. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't say that, given the situation. But I still want to stay positive. True, getting depressed isn't gonna do anything to help us out of this. You've got the right idea, Mash. Here, have a Da Vinci headband on the house. Ah. There you go. Thank you, Da Vinci.
Technical advisor, how long are you planning to spend saying your goodbyes? Get back in here already. Need I remind you, you're the only operational heroic spirit we've got right now, and every second you spend is another second the rest of us are defenseless.
What's the matter, Director? Missed them already? Something you want to say to them before they go?
No, I mean yes! With the paper moon stolen, our position is extremely precarious. Add to the fact that we have no mobility on land, and we're as good as dead if an enemy happens to find us. Therefore, it's imperative you two complete your mission and return as quickly as possible. Whatever you do, make sure you don't just rush in and get yourselves hurt, or worse.
Don't be reckless.
We absolutely cannot afford to lose any more of our human, or servant, resources.
Aw. Poor Gordy.
Really, we can't afford to lose anything else, given the state of things. Anyway, your first order of business is getting the paper moon back. The second is returning here safely. Now get on with it.
For all his bluster, our new director really does wear his heart on his sleeve. I'm pretty sure that was his way of showing he's worried about you two. I mean, it's pretty obvious at this point, right? Yeah, and you keep pointing it out, Da Vinci. Yes, it is. You have to make sure you come back safely. Right, senpai. We already made him worry a lot during Sigurd's attack. Oh, you should have heard him. Have the demi-servant girl's injuries healed yet? Will those two be okay if they run into demonic Third Wilder again? Not that he's gonna lift a finger himself, given how he's been even more timid than usual ever since Holmes got taken out. I must admit, I'm a little worried about the border, with you being the only one who can defend it now. Hey, I know I'm not much of a fighter, but don't you worry. I'm pretty sure Sigurd isn't gonna bother the border anymore. Bother the border? Plus, I've already gone and put up an extra sturdy mounted field around it, anyway. And it's not just sturdy, I made sure none of the indigenous life would even be able to tell it's here, especially the giants. I don't think I've worked this hard on a bounded field as I was putting the finishing touches on the Mona Lisa. Wait, what? Wait, what? I had no idea Da Vinci used to put up bounded fields around her paintings back when she was alive. Alright then, we'll be here waiting for you to come back with good news.
You to be extra careful out there. We still don't know much about this place, after all. Not to mention that, well, the fact that we won't be able to communicate is going to be a serious issue. I wish I could have done something about that, but we're past that now. The ice and snow here are infused with magical energy, which will get in the way no matter what, so you won't be able to talk to each other once you're more than a few kilometers out. But that doesn't mean I'm giving up. I still got a few ideas I'll try when I get the chance. Don't push yourself. With the border immobilized, we effectively won't be able to share what we each learn until you make it back here to this Norrköping area. This will be the first time you two are entirely on your own. Make sure you're especially careful. Don't go out of your way to save any cute girls asking for help, unless they're at least as cute as me, okay? We won't. Please, take care of yourself too, Da Vinci. You guys are too damn nice for being so young. Then again, I guess I'm younger than you, aren't I? Okay, I'll be careful too. Oh, and one more. Fo? Fo! Fo! Q! It probably wasn't intentional, but the fo and the q together, they sound kinda. Well, when did you sneak out here? You were hiding out in my shield again, weren't you? Fo? Okay, it looks like Fo's coming along with us too. I feel safer already. Yes, going from 2 to 3 means 50% more resources. Thanks for coming along, Fo. Fo. So even Fo's trying to help make up for a lack of personnel now. Well, he has great instincts at least. Isn't that right, you little furball you? Fo! Yes, Fo is more than capable in his own right. Having him along will be a big help. I think we'll be able to effectively fight as a group of 3 now. You know, now that I think about it, does Mesh remember what happened in the Temple of Time? And did she share that information with us or something? Fo. Yes, I mean that. Fo. It's okay, I didn't want you to sit on my shoulder anyway. Pounty face. You want to sit on my shoulder? Not Senpai's? Looks like he really likes you, Mash. Okay, this 2-person team is now officially a 3-person team. And on that note, it's finally time to show off my latest invention. Skis? Oh, never mind. This little beauty is something I came up with while I was trying to figure out a way to stay in touch. Sadly, they won't help us communicate, but they will help you get around this lost spot a lot easier. I give you dramatic drums. Dun, 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 dun. Skis. The Ortinax Ollerus board attachment. Hey, Ollerus is like what? I know it's also related. I think it's a different name for Odin or something. Actually, let me just Google this quick. Ollerus.
No, it's not Odin, but it's another god. Oh, and he's what? Thor's stepson? Oh, but it makes sense that they're calling it Ollerus, because according to Google, Ollerus was known for his beauty and skill with bow and skis. And Skadi is actually the goddess of skiing, which is funny.
What the? Are these some kind of additional equipment for my exoskeleton? When did you even have time to make these?
They're skis!
Fall?
Never underestimate the genius.
That's right. These are basically super awesome skis.
Thanks to their magical energy thrusters, you'll be zipping around like nobody's business. Oh yeah, they actually bringing it up, so I guess me googling it was kinda, Anyway, not even Ollerus, the guardian patron saint of skiers, has got anything on these babies. Skiers? I don't know. Don't worry, they come with wards and gyro sensors designed to help you keep your balance. I've got a set for you too, Ritsunan. With this, you three should be able to make your way around the Scandinavian snow plains in a blink of an eye. Do you also have some for Fo? You're the best, Da Vinci. That's right. You should damn well be impressed. Oh, be aware that if you want to go really fast, you should fold yours up and just hang on tight to match. Angry mesh. Thank you, Da Vinci. I appreciate this a lot, but this isn't taking care of yourself. I guess. Hey, if you're going to stay up all night working, best do it when you're young. Besides, I asked way too much of you too the day before yesterday. It's the least I can do to make up for that. I'm sure Holmes would say the same. But then again, given what our great detective is like, maybe not. So Da Vinci's basically overworking herself to help us because she can do much. Aww. I know it's my responsibility. You two keep having to shoulder so much. I switched words. I know it's my fault. You two keep having to shoulder so much responsibility. So, at the risk of sounding like a broken record, be careful out there. I fill the storage space in Mash's shield with camping gear, water, and a few days' worth of food, so make sure you rest up when you need to. Remember, it's gonna be just the two of you and Fo, so you need to be extra careful. Right. See you later, Da Vinci. Bye. Have a good trip. Even when in chibi mode, Da Vinci's still being our mom. Okay. I'll be back in a second. Eating something. And a Zerker and an assassin. Okay, so after hours of refreshing and reloading to finally get my friend's waiver, This is what I chose. Altera is mostly there for the bond points. Snow, ice, and fire. So this is the Scandinavian Lost Belt. Looking at it again, it's all very... Both are correct, I guess. Yes, I think so too. Ice and snow need extreme cold, but fire is one of the hottest things in the world. Yet, somehow, here they are, coexisting. To see two fundamentally different things mixed together like this, I don't know what to call it other than strange. There doesn't seem to be anything here that can burn, but there's a fire floating above the mountains. If this isn't from Mystics, I don't know what it is. Foe! The Ollerus boards are great at getting around since they can go up inclines. But when you move at high speeds, you really won't be able to take stock of your surroundings as much. Now that we're taking a break to look around, there are several things I've noticed. For example, the amount of fallen snow. I read that Scandinavia actually isn't all that snowy, except for Norway. Really? But here, in this Lost Belt, the mountains are frozen over, even the trees are. No, wait. Not trees, just ice shaped like conifers? There's no plants? It certainly seems that way, at least at this point. Maybe this means there's a different force at work here? Something very different from what caused Russia's Ice Age. I remember hearing these Lost Belts are alternate, hypothetical versions of history. What must this world's history have been like for it to end? English. What must this world's history have been like for it to have this sort of scenery? Crows? Yeah! Look, Senpai! Birds! Burbs. That must mean this Lost Belt has other normal animals, and not just giants and demonic beasts. I'm kinda relieved to see that. Right. The fact that birds can survive in this world is a good sign. Fo! Fo? Is there something about those words that bothers you? Fo! Nani? Anyway, we should get back to our journey. Fo, you stay inside my shield while we use Ollerus boards, right? Okay? We don't want the wind blowing you away while you're on the move, after all. Fo. But first, here's a map of where we would be in proper human history. There's definitely some margin of error, since there aren't any GPS satellites to sync it up with, but it should still help. Techno sounds. There we go. We're currently on the Scandinavian peninsula, right on top of what used to be Lake Vaton in southern Sweden. Wait, so the lake froze over? Yes, that's right. At least, we would be in proper human history. Lake Vaton is an enormous lake believed to have taken shape after Earth's most recent ice age. It's said to be almost 2,000 square kilometers. Missing, eh? I wonder, is it pronounced Vitter? Maybe? Like the... I don't know. But in this Lost Belt, We're obviously standing on a mountain ridge covered in snow. Fo? 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 It's not just the ice, snow, and fire. This lost belt differs from proper human history in a lot of significant ways. I thought I'd learned that in Russia, but after seeing all this, I feel like I'm learning it all over again. Fo. I'm putting way too much effort into faux voice for some reason, but I love it. Fuck you! Faux! Pew! What is it, Faux? Did I do something to... Enemies. I'm so sorry, I should have noticed sooner. There are large magical energy signals nearby. They look to be giants. But why now? We didn't run into a single one on the way here. Maybe they only approach if you stay in one place for a long time? No, never mind. I'll worry about that later. Right now, we need to take care of the immediate threat. Understood. Ready to begin battle once the giants are in range. I was so used to the Mashu jacket that it took me a while to remember that she has the whole battle outfit and all. Now let's kill some titans. And this team is still very cool but spooky at the same time.